Kristen, Kyle, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us. Come on. Just wrapping up our trip, 3 days. And the big takeaway here is I never travel any place just to see one person. So when you sales guys are out there traveling, you need to then try and find 1 or 2 or 3 other people to see. The commodity manager of Electrolux wanted me to text her. That was her preferred method of contact. She was getting 200 emails a day. She said, just text me. This was 5 years ago. I'm like, okay. Literally could get her every time.
What's up, guys? Kyle Milan here with Manufacturing Tribe TV. Today we're at MD&M Minneapolis show.
You're always going to remember that person that was different than everybody else. So let's talk standing out and being unique.
We're back with another episode. We've increased some of our production value, so hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Brett's got a question. How segmented do you make the emails every 2 to 4 weeks? Are you sending to the broad group of contacts or do you customize?
I think that you could do it both ways, but I think in general, everybody needs to see your content. Everybody needs to see something that you're creating and something that you can provide value to.
You can tell a story a whole lot faster in a 3-minute video than you can in a 14-page article or 10 2-page articles.
Everything's about brand awareness and content right now, and it will continue to be that. So focus on producing some sort of content, and if you're selling B2B, which I'm assuming most people here are, focus on LinkedIn.
Number one, we do not charge for this stuff. I put all of my content out there for free. Send it to somebody that you feel may get some value out of it, and also engage. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. We'll get to all of the comments after the break. Those comments mean the world to us because it shows that you guys care. So don't just sit there and watch, but please engage and hit those thumbs on LinkedIn. What is up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. We are live for this week's show, and I have a feeling this is going to be a good show based on the responses, people attending, things like that. Maybe it's a subject we're talking about. Maybe people want to come on to the show and tell me that our commercial breaks are too long, because we love people that give us some feedback. Even if it's criticism, we don't care. We made changes to it. We listen to what you guys say, all the comments we read, and listen to any suggestions. So feel free to leave them below in the comment section, whether you're coming in from YouTube or coming in from LinkedIn. We appreciate you giving us your attention and taking the time out on this quick lunch break for the show. So subject for today, if you're in technical sales, industrial marketing, there are millions of tools for you to use to increase your productivity, organize your data, and make your lives easier. And on this episode, I'm going to be covering the ones that I found to be the most effective and useful. So we've talked to, as some of you know, I own an industrial marketing agency, MFG Tribe. We talk to hundreds of industrial companies every single year. And in all those conversations, we talk about systems, productivity, things that they're using. What are they using that works? What are they using that didn't work? Then when they become clients, we then start using those systems, or we try and steer them into a different direction. So we've got some experience. Before I owned the agency for 6 years, I was in a lot of your shoes, a lot of people I'm connected with on LinkedIn, right in your shoes, doing the same thing that you do for a decade, using the systems that were out there. Now, obviously, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, things were different. We use different systems, but there's so many systems out there right now. It's like a lot of people just pick whatever they've seen the most of, or whatever other people pick. We've used most systems. I've personally used most systems that are out there. Obviously, there's new ones coming up in the last year or two that maybe we haven't seen yet. But for today's episode, I'm going to go through kind of like the foundation of what you need, things that I've run into. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear, is there a system that you guys have used that you are like, dude, this thing is just slick for solving this problem? And I'll give you my feedback if I've looked at that system or not. And we can have a conversation about it. Or if you guys are like, Kyle's right, that system that he just mentioned does suck. I want to hear that. We want to hear the feedback as much as possible in the comment section. So don't be shy. And we will get to all the comments once we go through the first video break. People are starting to come in through LinkedIn, which we appreciate you. So starting it off, let's talk about top of the funnel data mining. Data mining, man. Everybody's got the data. We get a lot of questions on this show about people commenting in and being like, somebody wants me to buy a list from them. I've got this data broker, things like that. One person even called out one specific company that claims to be hosting and providing the best data, which is D&B Hoovers. I straight up said they suck because I'm keeping it real with you guys. Data mining, you can get lost. Greta, our business development manager, just had a call today with a prospect that we're trying to close, and he was talking about purchasing lists. And I was like, nope, do not purchase any lists. At the end of the day, the cleanest data is going to be coming from the source. And what some of you may understand, some of you may not understand, is that the data that the sources get, then they sell it, even though sometimes they're not supposed to. They sell it and farm out that data to other places to then resell it and resell it and resell it. And before you know it, it's been multiple years since that original list was generated. So the data is not clean. The one that I will stand behind, we are not a partner. This is not affiliate or anything like that, although we should be. And it's something that we might look into, is Zoom Info. I literally last Friday renewed our contract with Zoom Info because ours is expiring at the end of this month. And so I had to renew it for the next year. They have the cleanest data. They have the best system. I was a user of theirs 6 years ago when they first got started, before they were purchased twice, before they became part of the conglomerate that they are with Discover. And their data is the cleanest, and it's the most accurate, and it's the easiest system to use. Now, going back years ago, some of you may know this, some of you Salesforce users, Salesforce has their own data system, right? Salesforce bought data.com probably like, I don't even know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And they basically migrated that data in and said, here's our clean data. Here's a system you can use to get the data, look through it cleanly, and get to where you want to go. But that data was outdated. It was not clean. I'm sure it's not any better. So I would say, bar none, the best data mining source is Zoom Info. The reason why is not only is their data clean, you get over 90% accuracy rate with the information. Whether somebody left 6 months ago, they're constantly going through that data and cleaning it up. But the best part of it is that you don't need somebody else to build a system for you. It's kind of like Salesforce's, at least a couple of years ago, last time I looked at Salesforce's data system, where you can search companies, people within those companies, SIC codes, NICS codes, or NIACS codes. All that information you can search. But then the cool thing about it, and this is what sold me 6 years ago, is you can search based on phrases, because their system goes out, looks at the first page of a company's website, scans that data, puts it into a database. So when you search it on a keyword search and have a query, then you can pull up companies that you don't know their NICS code, you don't know their SIC code, anything like that. You're just searching based on phrases. I actually built my company originally off of using that feature by building lists, because I could not afford to purchase a license with them at thousands of dollars a year. I had no money to invest into that. So I purchased access to their system, which was $1,000 a year. And I could go into their system and mine the data myself. And I was just basically using their keyword searches to then pull up injection molding companies, machine shops, robotics integrators, all that stuff. And then copy and pasting took me many, many hours to do it. Copy and pasting that into a spreadsheet. And then I started building my list out of prospects from there. Zoom Info is the best. We won't spend a ton more time on it, but if you guys have a system out there that you think is better, throw it up there and challenge it, and I will give you my 2 cents. Next one's going to be CRM and sales pipeline. Good God, there's a ridiculous, insane amount of CRM systems out there. I can't keep up with them because new stuff's coming up every day. Ones that were not so popular 3, 4, 5 years ago are coming up as like, this is the new greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't care if it's Zoho, Pipeline, Pipedrive, HubSpot, Salesforce, Pardot, and Marketo and all that stuff, or if it's things like Infusionsoft, whoever they got bought out and sold to, or SharpSpring. Like, I've literally touched everyone. The agency, MFG Tribe, we've used probably, I would say 12 to 20 in the last 5 years, different systems. Okay. On our client side, we've got brought into every single system that's out there, stuff that I've never heard of. And they're like, yeah, this is what we're using. Does not matter. My 2 cents, my take on it is I used to not like HubSpot because I felt like HubSpot, people that use HubSpot were just like obsessed with HubSpot. It's kind of like CrossFit, right? At least years ago, like people that got into CrossFit years ago, for those of you that are into lifting and things like that, they got into it and that's all that they talked about was CrossFit. I feel like that's how it was with HubSpot years ago. And I was like, no, HubSpot sucks. It's too expensive, all these things. Since then, my mind has been changed. And since we started using them a couple of years ago, very strategically, I think HubSpot has the best overall CRM system, okay, because you can get into it and control your costs. You're not purchasing stuff that you don't have to. Now, if you are sitting there like, dude, we use HubSpot, we were spending $900 a month. They closed us at $15,000 a year and onboarding fees and all that stuff, and it sucked. Most of the time, you guys aren't using it correctly. Our HubSpot license, we're not paying for Marketing Professional. We're paying for Marketing Starter with add-ons and with upgrades and with contacts and things like that. Our clients that have Marketing Professional, it's too much bang for the buck for you guys to use. Industrial companies don't typically need that. Now, if you have a robust email marketing program, or you have an agency like ours at MFG Tribe that's doing it for you, and you can afford to do it, then yes, there are tons of pros to. I would stand it up against everybody out there that, unless somebody tells me somebody's better, that we should look at, I think HubSpot is the best for you to easily get into. You can track all of your analytics data. You can put the plugin on your website, or you can code it into it to integrate everything over. You can look at your analytics. I would not trust their analytics 100% for web traffic, visits, time on site, all that stuff. I would always go back to the source at Google with that. But everything integrates very easily and nicely. You can add meetings to it. People can book time with you. You can add a live chat. Like, all that's built into one system. You don't have to have multiple systems. Now, years ago, I used to have Zapier to be able to integrate with everything, because not everything was integrated with the systems that we were using. So then somebody would fill out a form, and then Zapier would have a zap, and it would take that information, throw it into SharpSpring, Infusionsoft, whatever it was. And then that's how it communicated. It was not one-to-one integration. I think that HubSpot is the best CRM out there. I think if anybody's considering it, definitely do not let the HubSpot people push you down one direction saying you need all these bells and whistles, because most likely you're not going to need it. From a sales pipeline management standpoint, we use HubSpot. I think HubSpot's got a great sales pipeline management program, but the issue with it is, like, if you're an industrial or manufacturing company, you have an ERP system. So when I was in plastics, we used IQMS. That did everything for our job shop floor. It managed all of our work orders and things like that. So we did all of our quoting in it. Their CRM system sucked. Their sales pipeline management aspect of it sucked. It's just very rudimentary, and it's very basic. It's not super robust. And so a lot of times you guys can't use pipeline management systems outside of that. I completely agree with that, and I completely get it. But if you're working for a company where you don't need to be tied to an ERP system, and you can at least take the dollar amount of the deal, of the potential deal, and throw it into a pipeline to be able to track and monitor it and look at the different stages, whether you're in a quoting stage, quote sent, closing stage, one loss, you need all that data in a system. At the end of the day, you could have the best CRM system. If you don't use it, if you don't update it, and your data is garbage, then it doesn't even matter. So you have to first make the commitment that we are going to use this. We're going to invest company dollars into putting the system in place, and then we are actually going to use it. Try it out for 6 months. If you use it every single day, I guarantee having a pipeline tracking system in place will help your sales team out, and also help managers and owners out to be able to look at it 30,000 foot level. What's going on in my business? What's going on in the quoting? Is there trends that I can see? Is there somebody that's not performing? I think that it's best to just keep that in the same system with HubSpot. It's easy, it's simple, it's cheap. Now, you can have all these bells and whistles of all these other CRM systems and have a second one. I think it's best to have them married together. So my take on it is, out of all the systems I've used, out of all the systems with clients that I've used, I think HubSpot is the best to handle both of those things. Now, if you are, I'll give you a little bit of a nugget of a secret. If you are doing proposals and you're not sending them directly from your ERP system, a cloud-based proposal system is awesome. We use Proposify for it. We're able to build out proposals very quickly, pull in stuff from other proposals, create libraries, content libraries, databases, things like that, to where we can do proposals quickly. It sends out the email to them, and then we can even see once they open the email, once they've opened the proposal, you can go through and see how much time did each person spend on different sections of that proposal. So you can see, did they take 2 seconds to look at this, or did they spend 20 minutes? And where did they stop at? What page were they looking at the most? How many hits did they have to the email? How many times did they open the proposal? Did they download the PDF of the proposal? All that stuff tracked through Proposify. So if you can use a cloud-based system, I think for the dollars, Proposify is the best out there. And we've been using them for probably, I think, 4 years or so. So going on to the next point, social media. What social media system is the best? Well, for those of you on LinkedIn, you know that I love LinkedIn, and I think it's the best system out there for industrial manufacturing companies. Anybody that mentions Twitter does not know what the hell's going on. Twitter is a complete waste of time. There's nothing good that happens from Twitter. Even saying, let's take our post that we're going to do on LinkedIn and send it out to Twitter. For what? Nobody retweets it. Nobody likes it. Nobody shares it, or however their system works. Twitter is dead to everybody in B2B. It does not work. Stop using it. Whenever we talk to companies and they're like, yeah, we also post to Twitter, we know right off the gate that they're not up with the latest stuff. So then we share our information with them and say, there's no good thing that comes from it. Facebook and Instagram, if you're a machine shop, if you make cool parts, can you post those on Facebook and Instagram? Absolutely. Can you post all the cool pictures of the things that you make on Instagram? Can you build a following? Can you get more attention? Yes. The issue with it, though, is you cannot target and strategically go after people based on their job title, job function, company they work for on Facebook and Instagram. Now, you can do retargeting campaigns. You can put the pixel on your website, and you can spend attention and time on that area, but you can't strategically target it because most people don't update their job position on Facebook or update their profile on Instagram, and they're using it for personal use. So the only platform that you should be paying attention to from a business standpoint, business development standpoint, sales guys, marketing people pushing content out there is on LinkedIn. It goes without saying, hands down, the best system out there. We'll move on to the next point. Next thing is going to be SEO research. What does SEO mean? Search engine optimization. There are three main players in SEO. The first one is going to be SEMrush, SEMrush. The next one's going to be Moz. The next one's going to be Ahrefs. Now, all three of them are great. What do we think is the best one? I think that SEMrush is the best one. We have a very significant monthly license that we spend every single month on our partner program with SEMrush. Now, I don't mean partner like affiliates. I mean, we are at that level as an agency where we have to have so much information, so much data to be able to run through SEMrush that we are at that business partner level. Now, the cool thing about SEMrush is you can track and look at any single website you want to. It could be your website. It could be your competitor's website. There's a lot of information that you can see before even somebody giving you access into their analytics. I can see any website's organic search report. I can see how many hits they're getting to their website, how much traffic they're getting to the website from an organic search in the United States or any specific country. I can look at what are those keywords of the websites that whatever keywords are in their full keyword list. How much keyword? What's their position? What was their position a week ago? What is their ranked position at today? It updates every 16 hours or so if you're tracking it. It updates roughly every 20 days, 15 to 20 days or so if you're not tracking it in a project. But I can see all that information. So anybody new that we talk to and we have a discovery call with them, we want to understand what is the current state, what is the baseline. We use SEMrush to run reports, look at their website, audit, all that stuff we can do without their permission, so to speak, because it's public information through the algorithm that SEMrush has and pulling data from Google. They're able to see all that information. So you can track competitors' positions. You can track your positions. You can track potential customers' positions, depending on what it is that you do. You can see all that information in SEMrush. And what we use it for is we build out all of our reports are through it, all of our position tracking. Our position tracking updates every 16 hours. So our clients that we're tracking 100 keywords for them, we see every 16 hours what is their new position. And we're watching like a hawk so we can understand changes that happen. We look at all of the signals from Google algorithm updates. SEMrush is the best. Moz is good. Ahrefs is good. There's others out there. Those are really the three best and the three biggest. And so if you're questioning about SEO, want to understand, how is my company's SEO? If you're a marketer or if you own a company, how is my SEO? You can sign up for, I believe, a free trial of SEMrush and be able to do at least minimal searching to be able to look up things. And you can also do all your keyword searches. You can see how many people a month are searching for this keyword in the United States, in Canada, in the world, in a specific country. All that information is in SEMrush, and it is by far the best tool and one of the most relied on tools that we use for SEO knowledge. Now, if you're looking to understand more about SEO, Moz has the best academy for that. Moz teaches and produces the most content around SEO for you to learn and understand what's going on, what helps, what works, what doesn't. They have the best integration for that and the best platform for it. But as far as using the tool, I think SEMrush takes the cake for that. Next, we're going to go into website analytics. There are tons of website analytics systems, and we're going on now 21 minutes. So guys, be sure to fill up that comment section if you like this content that's coming on. We see you in there and we appreciate it. So website analytics, there are third-party website analytics systems. I have used, good God, probably 6 to 10 over the last 6 years, because I'm looking for fancy reports and I'm looking to make it look nice, because the stuff you get out of Google is just weird, and it's not organized nicely. And so we've used them. We've used tons of third-party systems. If I really want to know at the end of the day, what is this company's website traffic looking like? How do people get there? I go always to the source with Google, and we use Google Analytics for that. Now, with SEMrush, when we're meeting with our clients on a monthly basis to review all this data, SEMrush pulls information from Google, from the analytics, and then we organize a report. We have a template where we organize a report to look at the information that we think is most important. And so we pull it into SEMrush to do the reporting. But if there's any other question, when we're looking at understanding the report, if we see something that looks weird, we go straight back to Google. I don't think that a third-party tool is going to be as robust as Google ever. I know that there's other tools out there where we've had a couple companies that are like, yeah, we don't use Google Analytics. The agency that we were with before used this other tool. It's kind of like Google Analytics. It tracks all the same information. Kind of like is not the same. And I always say, you better get a Google Analytics code on that website, because we need data. We need to be able to track baselines. We need to look at historical stuff. We need to look at everything moving forward. Google Analytics is the best for that, but we've tied that into SEMrush from a reporting standpoint. But if we have any questions, we always go to it. What do I feel like are the most important things to look at? Bounce rate is good, because it gets an understanding if the traffic comes in, where do they leave? What type of bounce rate should you have? You should have anywhere between 40 and maybe 65% on the high end, but it depends on what you're doing. If you're sending a ton of paid traffic all of a sudden, your bounce rate's going to increase. If you're trying to get a ton of new traffic from Google search results or through LinkedIn or things like that, your bounce rate should probably increase. New traffic that's never been there before is going to play with your bounce rate. Now, if you're 80, 90% bounce rate as a whole on your website, something is drastically wrong. We do look at time on site. We look at pages per site and things like that. But just to get finger to the wind, how many sessions are you getting? Like, how many people are coming to your website every single month? Are you seeing an increase or decrease? Where are those sessions coming from? What's the bounce rate? So looking at the source of those sessions, breaking it down to the top 5, which is going to be Google organic traffic, direct traffic, paid advertising, referrals, and then looking at the social platforms to see how that traffic's coming in. But then looking at that traffic's coming in, is it staying on the site for long, or is it leaving right away? The other things that we pay most attention to is going to be the top landed pages. And I've talked about this on other episodes. The top landed pages means what is the first thing that people see when they come to your site. It is not your homepage. It's some different page. Now, 50% of your traffic could be to the homepage initially, but we want to look at what are the top 10 landed on pages. And then on the flip side of that, we want to look at what are the top 10 most visited pages. So regardless of where they land on the site, regardless how they got from there from the source, whether it was organic or direct or social, regardless of all that, what are people clicking on? Now, there are tools that you could do with heat maps to look at scroll depth, click, hotspots, things like that. Those are cool. We use those too. But just for the basics, you want to see where are people clicking, and then look at those pages, the most visited pages. We always look at the top 10. And then you might make strategic adjustments based on that data that you're seeing to those pages to drive people further. So from a web analytics standpoint, Google Analytics is like Microsoft Excel. You could literally probably launch a spaceship with it, right? There's so much computing power behind it. You could do so many things in Microsoft Excel. You could do so many things in Google Analytics, but just looking at the basics, you need to pay attention to those areas and just go straight to the source. If you want to use a third party that's pulling that data into a pretty report, by all means do that, but don't get taken for granted, because a lot of times they can't integrate things. Like we signed up for some, they're like, oh, we don't do G4 tags with Google Analytics new tracking platform. We don't integrate with G4 yet because Google hasn't released it. So you can't see those reports. Well, if I can't see the G4 stuff, then you're pretty much useless to me. So you have to really understand that. The last thing we're going to touch on is going to be the teamwork system, project management system, chat system, things like that. There are, again, so many out there. You can look at the ads of people that, like, everybody uses Slack, right? We don't. I have used it before. Some of our clients do use it. I don't like it. I think that having two systems is not great. for a CRM, for a project management system, whether you're organizing all your ideas, your thoughts, tasks, things like that. There are tons out there. We like Teamwork Projects. Teamwork Projects is an Irish-based company. We've been with them for probably 5 years. We were there when they were just getting started and had a good foundation, and they've grown and expanded massively since then. And we use their chat system, which is Teamwork Chat. It's all in one system. And they've got apps for your iPhone, your Android. They've got desktop apps for PCs and Macs. Teamwork Projects is the lifeblood of at least of our company. Everything that we use it for, our clients are in it, our employees are in it. We use it to track and monitor everything. I think that that's the best. I will take the Teamwork Projects chat system up against Slack or any other thing any day of the week. I think their project management system is better than Monday.com or all of the other ones, all the ads that you see. I think that their system is the best, and it's honestly affordable at the end of the day. You're not going to be spending thousands of dollars a month for a system unless you've got tens of thousands of employees in it. But it's a great system, and that's what we use, and that's what we prefer. And I've looked at and used an insane amount. So that sums up my list. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and answer any questions or comments that you guys have. So be sure to leave them below if you haven't already. What if they don't currently have a problem with a process or system? Will the approach still be effective? If they don't have a problem, man, you can't solve it. So if you go into a sales call and you're like, hey, I want to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. You guys have any issues with it? They're like, nope, don't sell the unsellable. Is homepage content the most important? So that brings up a good point. What you need to look at in your Google Analytics is your top landed pages. And the top landed pages are what page do people first see? And we always look at the top 10. And so is homepage usually the first of the top 10 landed on pages? Yes, it is usually, but it typically only represents no more than 50% of the total traffic that lands on that page first. Is only about 50% go to the homepage. 30, 45 minutes a day working on building out your network. And then I would spend 30 to 45 minutes a day engaging with your network. Assuming that you have deals already in the pipeline, current customers, you have meetings during the week, stuff like that, where it's pulling out your time to where you only have a few hours left over, then that's how I'd split it. Half your time focused on building your network, the other half of the time focused on engaging. All right, guys, we're back. And guess what? The system is having a bug with LinkedIn. So we're going to have to go old school, and we're going to have to look at the comments on LinkedIn, and we're not going to be able to pull them up on the screen. So I've got LinkedIn open. Kevin says, hello from Oklahoma. What's up, man? Jason Jordahl, what's going on, brother? Jason Jordahl used to work back in the day together. Hello from Green Bay. Dude, you're still up there in the cold. You need to get down here to Texas and be in the warmth, man. That's why I made the move. Jessica says, hey, from Denver. What's going on, Jessica from Denver? Christina says, hello from Chicago. What's up, Christina? Jamie, hi from Ohio. What's going on, brother? I'm sure you're crushing out there, Jamie. Richard, greetings from H-Town. What is H-Town? Is it like Houston Town? Because there's so many H's. Let me know what that is, Richard. Jessica, keep it real. Yeah, definitely keep it real. Richard says 100% concur. How would you and then Jonathan Bates. Jonathan Bates. Is that John? Do I know you, Jonathan Bates? You sound familiar. How would you compare Zoom Info to Seamless AI? So I have not used Seamless AI, but I would say that Zoom Info is probably better. I have yet to come across, even like every year when we're renewing our subscriptions and stuff, I'm always like, all right, is what we're using still the best? I mean, shit, I look at systems like every 3-4 months to make sure what we're using at our agency and what we're pushing out there saying this is the best. Like, I can't say that it's the best if I haven't looked at other things. We're every few months, at least twice a year, we're looking at other systems to say, is there a new player on the market? I have not seen Seamless AI. And so I don't know, but I would be challenged to say that Zoom Info is not better because they're huge now. They're just massive. They got so much dollars behind it. Jason Jordahl says, nice. Jessica says, I love CrossFit. Yeah, I hate CrossFit. I think CrossFit is the death sentence of any workout personally because I hate doing those things. I will lift weights and I will do all that, but doing the WODs on a daily basis is insanity. My wife is a former CrossFit competitor from Arizona, and she went to the games multiple times, and she did it for multiple years, and she can still do it. And I hate it, and I hate her for bringing that into our household. Small company, we switched to InfoFlow works seamless with Outlook. Which one, James? What were you using InfoFlow for? I'm surprised you guys are like. I feel like we didn't even talk about email marketing systems or email systems. I know that most of your guys' companies like you have to use Microsoft products, but we used to do that too. We used to use Microsoft products, but we switched over to Google for everything. Like file management system, we used to use Dropbox, switched it over to Google Drive. Like we went all in on Google 2 years ago. I think your IT people should look at that because Google's system for business is dope. But mostly you guys don't have control over that. John Hayes says we now use HubSpot. John, how do you like it? That's what I want to know. Jessica, if you're a machine shop, paperless parts is what we use, and it's amazing. Jessica, 100% agree. Paperless parts. We had a client that's a 3D print shop out of Chicago, and we're so close with them. Love those guys to death, and they're growing and scaling. They use paperless parts. The first time I ever looked at paperless parts was like 2.5 years ago when they became a client. And I was like, dude, this is sick. This like how you can integrate this into your website. Then you go into the back end of paperless parts. Everything does the quoting for you. It's quick. It's seamless. You can track it, all that stuff. That stuff's cool. Now I will tell you, Jessica, what we did for them was we integrated the paperless parts stuff with their HubSpot. So we brought in HubSpot to them. And again, we're a partner with HubSpot. But we don't like push it like that. We don't have affiliate links. And so we brought HubSpot in and I was able to pull all of the paperless parts opportunities into HubSpot and then set up email marketing because they were on the professional program to then do follow-ups on behalf of the sales team because they were doing like 10 to 20 quotes a day. I mean, it was insane. And so I was able to integrate that into HubSpot. We built out some workflows with it to be able to follow up with people to make sure that the opportunity isn't getting lost in all of their opportunities because they had so many. But I 100% stand behind paperless parts. Their system and those guys over there, I've never talked to them, but their system is awesome. Any experience with PandaDoc, Jonathan? I have used PandaDoc before. I don't remember what it was for. One of our clients used it, so I can't tell you my 2 cents on it. But it's not, I mean, it's not popular enough for it to stay in our forefront. So it can't be that good. Sorry. Jessica, Twitter is so past tense. Yeah, it is. But you know how many times people still use Twitter? I mean, everything integrates with Twitter. It's insane. People will be like, oh yeah, but we integrate with Twitter. Send your tweet. Unless you're a politician or a celebrity, nobody gives a shit about Twitter. LinkedIn is it. Richard says, awesome. Cynthia asked you a question, Jessica. You better answer that. Sherry Swab, are you going to talk about ABM platforms? ABM platforms. Please clarify because there's so many acronyms out there. Paperless part, we use it for quite. Okay, you guys are going back and forth. I apologize that we do it like this, but the system is busted. They had a bug on Monday that they were supposed to fix. We use StreamYard, and we can talk about that. If you're doing live streaming, StreamYard is what we use. StreamYard is the best that I've seen. We've used a couple different systems. We use StreamYard, but there are bugs sometimes with LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't want to share its information. They don't want to share its data. They rely on third parties for all their live streaming because they don't have a system built in. But sometimes there's bugs. There was a bug on Monday. On Monday's show, comments weren't getting put in. I got the notification this morning saying that it was fixed on LinkedIn's end, but apparently it isn't. Excellent information. Thank you, Nancy. I'm glad you like it. Richard Houston, what's up, Richard? So H-Town is Houston. I've been there a few times. Terrell Simpson, Round Rock. What's up, dude? Round Rock. That's right. Like we're up here in the west side of Austin off of 620 in the hills. You're like 35 minutes away. You need help. All right, dude. We'll reach out to you. I'll have Greta reach out to you, man. Jessica, Jessica should get some cred for paperless parts. Reach out to the dudes at paperless parts because they're not a huge team and you should get some affiliate links to promote that. Any thoughts on MS Dynamics sales and or marketing? Okay. MS Dynamics. We're going there with Microsoft. All right. Because Terrell Simpson asked it. I hate Microsoft Dynamics. Now, I will say, because Microsoft owns LinkedIn, Microsoft Dynamics does, at least like 9 months ago when I looked into this, has the best single integration with LinkedIn direct communication. They are, to my knowledge, the only CRM system, email marketing system out there that can directly communicate with LinkedIn because it's owned by the same company. It makes complete sense. But the back end of Microsoft Dynamics, oh my God, it is insane. It is like some stuff out of like 1997. The backend system is clunky. It doesn't look good. It's not easy to use. When we had a client that built out a whole Microsoft Dynamics system, then they came to us after they already purchased it, put all their information in it. They're like, we need help with this. It was like you have to create buckets and lists and subcategories and groups within groups. And then there was no easy way to just say, I want to look at big picture. What do you guys have for context? Now, unless something drastically changed in the last 6 or 9 months, which I'm sure it didn't because it's Microsoft and they move slow, Microsoft Dynamics sucks, plain and simple. And their marketing apps are horrible. And their Microsoft Dynamics is too expensive. You can get much cheaper out there. Never talked to them, but their system is awesome. Who did you never talk to, Ron? Sherry, account-based marketing. Yeah, account-based marketing. So account-based marketing, the buzzword, right? So you're creating content, you're focusing on strategic accounts, you've got an account list of people that you're going after, you're going to create content for those specific people and put that in front of those specific people. Account-based marketing, I feel like the buzzword has been around for so long that I would just call that I would call it strategic marketing or just marketing in general. So there's 2 main approaches. There's a shotgun approach where I'm going to create something, send it to everybody. And there's the account-based marketing approach, which is I'm going to be very strategic and specific with this content and only send it to this group of people. 100% that works. I feel like people get a little bit obsessive over it. So where they're like, I'm going to do account-based marketing, and before I send this to this group, I need to talk about our experience in this specific industry or my experience in this specific industry first. I feel like if you can go up a couple levels, so like 10,000 foot level with it, and then strategically do it, I think it could be great. So if you do a service or a product for a specific industry, I think you need to create content around that, and then you need to distribute that content that is specific to that industry to those specific people. How do you go about doing that? Well, you could do it on LinkedIn. Okay, you could do paid advertising. LinkedIn's paid advertising platform for account-based marketing is ridiculous. Nobody can touch it because you can say, here's an article, here's a graphic, here's a video I made for this specific industry. I want to then promote this to these specific companies, these 65, these 112 companies that is very strategic. This message is only for them. I want to send it to them and put it in their feed in the display ad when they're going through their feed. This is going to show up. Nobody else can touch that. That stuff works, hands down. You only get charged if people click on it. Now, if you're trying to do it organically or through email marketing, the same thing. You need to build lists. You need to create content that is relevant. Account-based marketing is all about the principle of if something is relevant to that person, then they will at least pause for a second and look at it. So Sherry, if you're in this stream for a reason, right? You came to this content for a reason. I'm hoping that you get some value out of it. I'm hoping that maybe you came in because of the subjects that I talk about and the industry that you work in. Hopefully that's a match. So I use account-based marketing, not specifically to target you personally, but we're very strategic about who we go after and what type of content we make. And we're in this niche. So we connect with people that are in this niche. Too often sales and marketing people are like, I just want to buy lists from people. I want to have hundreds of thousands of people in my pipeline at once or in my top of my funnel at once. And it just doesn't work. You need to be strategic about everything that you do. So I 100% support the principles of account-based marketing, but I do not support some of the nitty gritties that people get into and how specific and hyper focused they are about account-based marketing. But 100%, again, Nick's going to be like, dude, stop repeating yourself. 100%, again, he's already shaking his head. You have to create content that's strategic and specific to that market or whoever you're trying to sell to, and then put that in front of the right people. Make sure it's relevant. That will get them to pause. Then make sure that your copy is good. Make sure that your content is good. Make sure your video is good to hook them in, to get them to watch, read, listen to, whatever it is, look at whatever you're doing for more than 3 seconds. So yes, Sherry, I'm with you there. Jamie says Kyle is brutal. Kyle is brutal in how he feels. Oh, yeah, dude. I filter a lot. For those of you that know me, you guys get the clean version of myself. Any thoughts, brutal or otherwise, on MailChimp from Cynthia? MailChimp, maybe we should do a show, Nick, called like The Brutal Truth with Kyle, but it's going to have to probably only be on YouTube because I don't want to get banned from LinkedIn for cussing too much. Brutal Truth on MailChimp. MailChimp is a great system if somebody's first starting out, needs something for free, cheap, and easy. 100% support it. Now, once you get past that point, you need to move on. MailChimp, like, can you get to $15 a month, $30 a month? And they've got new features. Like, think about when MailChimp first started, like years ago when they first started, they were basically the only free, simple email marketing system out there. They have since upped their software and upped their game, and they're doing good. But it doesn't give you the customization. It doesn't give you the tracking the way that other systems do, not just HubSpot, just other systems. Like, I was on Infusionsoft for 2 years, and I don't know who Infusionsoft got bought by, but they got bought by somebody, and now it's called like Idea or Think or something like that. But Infusionsoft was awesome. They were great at one thing, and that was email marketing. And so, but when I first started, I did use MailChimp or a system like that for free. It's a great free resource. If you want to just test things out, it's great. But I would move away from it as soon as you get some legs underneath you, as soon as you have some budget, $50 a month, as soon as you can afford $50 a month, move on to HubSpot. $50 a month, HubSpot gives you broadcast email systems, and you can have 1,000 contacts. You want more contacts? You want 2,000 contacts? It's an extra $50 a month. You want other features to be able to do sequences and campaigns? Now you're talking 800. So there's cheaper systems out there for that. But if you look at the whole, HubSpot is better. But I won't dog MailChimp for what it is. I will dog people that have MailChimp that built it up and have 10, 20, 30,000 contacts in it and still use MailChimp, because there are better systems to migrate to. I think that's all the questions that I've gone through. Dude, I appreciate you guys leaving these questions and engaging, because this really helps us out. And a lot of times, like I've said before, there's questions that people have that they don't want to ask for whatever reason, and you're asking them, and they're like, good. I'm glad that person asked that, because I had the same question too. Sherry, hopefully I went into account-based marketing enough for you to at least touch on that. It's such a deep subject, and I'm also glad that people are liking the brutal truth. I mean, the way it is like, there's too much fluff around it. Like, you should use this system, you should use that system. Like, do your research. Okay. At the end of the day, like, I'm one person. I think that the systems we use are the best. Are there better ones out there? Possibly. If they are better systems, they don't have better marketing or good enough marketing to get put in front of me. So, take it with a grain of salt. The other thing that I didn't touch on is lead generation companies. And so I get poked all the time on LinkedIn. We're a lead generation company. There are probably some good lead generation companies out there that only do lead generation. And that's all they do. We did that in the past. The way that some people do it now, it can work. But I would say, like anybody you're talking to, make sure that they have some experience in your industry. Like, as you guys know, most of my contacts, most of my network, most of the stuff we talk about, like 95% of it is industrial marketing and technical sales for industrial manufacturing companies, SaaS companies, tech companies. That's it. That's the only thing that I know. And so often we talk to people and they're like, yeah, I was using this company, and they said that they worked in industrial manufacturing, but they were doing this tactic. And I'm like, that doesn't work. Always take everything, like, do your own due diligence to look into it. How is their system? How is their solution built for you? You may look at Teamwork Projects and be like, yeah, it seems like a good, slick system. And Kyle said it was good, and they use it. I mean, we use it religiously. But it doesn't really fit for me because it doesn't have this other aspect, or it has too much of this. That's perfectly fine. Don't use it. Find something that works for you, but don't just take whatever's the biggest marketing push out there. Like Monday.com is on every single YouTube ad that I've ever seen, or do something like with Salesforce. So many Salesforce users have 2 users in it, and they got Salesforce for whatever reason, because Salesforce did enough marketing or other people use it. Salesforce is an enterprise sales system. It is for enterprise companies. It is for companies that have 50, 60, 80, 100 salespeople. Talk to HubSpot. Guess what HubSpot salespeople use? They use Salesforce, because there are thousands of them. If you have 2 people, 1 person, 3 people in your sales team, you do not need Salesforce, because most of the guys or girls are not even putting the right information in, and it's way overkill. For something like that, integrate it with your CRM system. I guarantee that it's got a better solution for you. All right, guys, so that's it for the comments coming through. I apologize for keep looking at the comments, but the system is broken. So if you guys got value out of this content, and if you guys feel like there's something worth sharing, I want you guys to share it with your friends, share it with your network. It helps us get the word out. It helps get us engagement. Be sure to follow me on LinkedIn if you're not already following me on LinkedIn. Send me a connection request if you guys have any questions for our new Monday show, which is Q&A with me. You can send those questions to Ask Kyle at mfgtribe.com, and we will be bringing up a couple questions every single week. We'll dive into them and then field any questions on the live, any additional comments that come up. So that's a change to Monday's show. Wednesdays, we're going to be here for right now talking about industrial marketing and technical sales. Be sure to go to my YouTube channel. We have over 200 videos right now and more videos coming every single week to that channel. Turn on notifications so you know every single time that we go live, and just keep on commenting and share the love.